Good morning, students. So, as we have seen in the previous class about speed, now our next topic we will going to see is speed with direction. Okay. The rate of motion of an object can be more compressive if we specify its direction of motion along with speed. The quantity that specifies both these aspects is called velocity. Okay, so up to now we have just known what is speed. Yes, but it will be better if we know that in which direction the vehicle or the person or any object is moving. So that has another quantity which is known as velocity, as you can see here. Yes. Now, velocity is the speed of an object moving in a definite direction. You can underline this in your textbooks if you have. Okay, this is the definition of the velocity. Velocity is the speed of an object moving in a definite direction. The velocity of an object can be uniform or variable. It can be changed by changing the object's speed or direction of motion or both. Obviously, if you change the speed, its velocity will change anyhow. If you change the direction also, it will change its velocity. You won't understand me, but we'll go further and you'll get all this object now. When an object is moving along a straight line at a variable speed, we can express the magnitude of its rate. Magnitude means the total number. જે final તમારો sum આવે એને magnitude કહેવાય. Of its rate of motion in terms of average velocity. It is calculated in the same way as we calculate average speed. Okay, so there is nothing new in this. Okay, if you want to take anything's average, તમારે કોઈ પણ વસ્તુનો average લેવું હોય તો તમે શું કરો? બે quantity, suppose there are two quantities. Okay, so what you will do, you will add two quantities and then divide it by 2, then you will get the average speed or whatever the average. Yes, same way હવે average velocity માટે શું કરશો? તમારા પાસે બે velocities હશે, એક initial અને એક final. You have to do nothing but add initial velocity plus final velocity, and to find out the average you have to divide it by 2. So that way you will get average velocity. Let's see. In case the velocity of the object is changing at uniform rate, then average velocity is given by arithmetic mean of initial velocity and final velocity for a given period of time. That is, you see, as I've told you, to find out any average, initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. Or mathematically it is how written. You see, u plus v, u is nothing but initial velocity, v is the final velocity divided by 2. Here you see, already given. And you see, speed and velocity have same units, that is meter per second or meter per second. That is written too differently, but it is read as meter per second. Sure. So okay students, now we'll see example 8.2. The odometer of a car reads 2000 km at the start of the trip and 2400 km at the end of the trip. If the trip took 8 hours, calculate the average speed of the car in kilometer per hour. Now let us do this on a page. Example 8.2. So we'll see, that is distance s is equal to what it told, the odometer reads 2000 km at the start of the trip and at the end 2400 km. So at the end શું છે 2400 km અને સ્ટાર્ટિંગમાં કેટલું હતું 2000 km. So how much did it travel? 400 km. So we have the distance, that is, that is 400 km. Correct. Now what it is told, if it took the trip 8 hours, that means time કેટલું આપી દીધું તમને? 8 hours. Correct. Now what will be the average speed? Okay, to find out the speed, remember the formula was distance upon time. હવે કેટલું ડિસ્ટન્સ ટ્રાવેલ કર્યું છે? 400 કિલોમીટર. યસ, એન્ડ ટાઈમ ઇન્ટરવલ ઇઝ 8 hours. So that would come 50 kilometer per hour. Why I have written kilometer per hour? You see, 400 that is in kilometer, and this 8 it is in hour. Divide માં છે એટલે 50 kilometer per hour. Now, in your book there is one another thing. It is already given, which you can see that they have converted this 50 kilometer per hour into meter per second. How we'll convert it? Just see this. Suppose 50 kilometer per hour che, so that means per hour means divided by hour. Yes. Now to convert kilometer into meter, what I will do? 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. I hope this much you know. And 1 hour is nothing but 3600 seconds. Yes. So to convert 50 kilometer per hour into meter per second, we have to do nothing but કિલોમીટર ને મીટરમાં કન્વર્ટ કરવા માટે 1000 થી, અને અવર નીચે છે તો 3600 would come down. Yes, so 50 into 1000, that is nothing but 51, then here 1000 upon 3600, nothing but cancels 2 zeros. Now at last you will get 13.9 meter per second. Okay, this is your answer. So at the end, after this you have to write at the end the average speed of car is 50 kilometer per hour or 13.9 meter per second. Okay, this conversion, if it is told to you, then only you do, otherwise leave it. Okay, there is nothing you have to do compulsory. If it is given in the question that you have to find out the average speed in kilometer per hour as well as in meter per second, then you have to do this conversion. ક્યારે પણ કિલોમીટર પર અવર ને કન્વર્ટ કરવું હોય, so nothing but multiplying by 1000 divided by 3600. Okay, now we'll see the next sum. Okay, next sum is Usha swims in a 90-meter long pool. She covers 180 meter in 1 minute by swimming from one end to the other end and back along the same straight path. Find the average speed and average velocity. Now, one more quantity you should know. Now, હવે શું કીધું છે કે ઉષા કેટલું મીટર કવર કરે છે? So the distance, it is already told to you that it is 180 meter. કેટલા ટાઈમ ઇન્ટરવલમાં? તો કે 1 મિનિટમાં. 1 minute is equal to how much seconds? 60 seconds. Now why I have converted meter into seconds? Because unit શું છે? મીટર પર સેકન્ડ, મીટર પર મિનિટ નથી. તો તમે આવી રીતે ડાયરેક્ટ ન કરી શકો. You have to convert always meter per second. If the distance is in meter, time will always be in seconds. This much you should remember. Now to find out the average speed, or you can say just speed, that is nothing but distance by time. So distance કેટલું છે? 180 divided by time, that is 60, which is 3 meter per second. This is your answer for average speed. Now to find out the velocity, now you can see the difference between speed and a velocity. હવે speed and a velocity માં difference શું? Speed formula is distance upon time, but whereas velocity formula is displacement upon time. હવે displacement upon time, હવે આ કેસમાં જો તમને શું કીધું છે? that she covers 90 meter pool છે, 180 meter. Suppose you take an example like we'll see. Okay, this is that pool which is of 90 meter as it is shown. Okay, so she starts from here. So this is point A, or you can say starting point છે, correct? Now 1 મિનિટમાં એ શું કરે છે? she goes here and she comes back here. Final position is also here again, because she came back, it is already given in the question, final position. So here you see initial and final position both are same. So in this case displacement will be what? Displacement will be 0. इनिशियल અને फाइनल पोजीशन सेम હોય તો ડિસ્પ્લેસમેન્ટ હંમેશા 0 હશે. That you should know. So the velocity would be what? Velocity શું છે? Displacement upon time. Correct? So what is displacement in this case? 0. Time, you say if it is 60 seconds also. So the answer would come 0. So your average velocity will be 0. Okay, 0 meter per second. This you should not forget. Okay, so for today this much is enough. Thank you, students.